Hey people, welcome back. So today we will see how we can use external identity provider in our web application. So today we will going to use Facebook as an external identity provider in our web application. So before using that, let's first understand why we are using it. In real time scenario in a company there are a lot of products, and we are using different credential for different products. So in that case, if suppose I want to use only a single credential for all products, then uh, I will do, I will keep my all user credentials at one centric server. So in that case, I will authenticate uh, every my application through that identity provider. So in our today's example, we will use Facebook as a external identity provider to authenticate and log in to the our web application. So before using that, again there is one more thing. We will require client ID and client secret, or we can say that application ID or application secret. So what exactly it is? So let's first understand it. So application ID and application secret or client ID or client secret, these are associated with the application. For example, if suppose I want to use a Google API in my web application, then I have to register my web application on Google, correct? So when I will register my web application on Google, then it will provide me one application ID and secret, which is related to my web application, which indicate that you have registered your application with Google server. So same, today we will create like how we, so the first thing is like how we can get the application ID and secret of Facebook. So we also going to see that how we can create application ID and application secret, and will and then after we will use that application ID and secret in our application to authenticate to the Facebook, that is external identity provider. So first, uh, let's create first application ID and client secret. Okay. So uh, yeah, let me go to the site. So if you see, there is a developers.facebook.com. So here we can actually register our web application on the Facebook. So if you go to login, so this is the official website directly, uh, that developers.facebook.com. Okay. So just log in here. Okay. Okay, so it successfully logged in. So go to my apps. Now first we'll create our app. So just press that button, create app. Now there are different options available here. So we will use that consumer options. So it provides just like Facebook login, consume Facebook login and display Instagram app, and a lot of stuff is there. So just continue it, and just put your name, that ID provider, or we can say my ID provider. Then create app, just provide your Facebook credential. Okay, so it is authenticated. Okay, so here if you scroll down little bit, there is a one option, Facebook login. So I already told you that if I want to use Facebook as a third party external authenticator, then I have to register my web application on the Facebook. So the same thing I have to do here. So if I have go to web, then there is a site URL. So we have to provide our application URL. So my application is already running. So I will jump to into that part in little time. So just provide your URL and then just save it. Okay, you just have to, you can read the lot of things are there, and just I'm just doing next. Okay, so yeah, so now my application ID and secret is already created. So if you want to see that, go to setting, in left menu, go to basic, and if you see the application ID and application secret, so we have like created the application ID, application secret, and we have registered our web application. Now the thing is, let's consume it, this application ID and application secret in our web application, and try to authenticate our web application. So I have already created one web application, MVC web application in Visual Studio, so it is running. Now I have not integrated that authentication, that Facebook authentication in my code, so there is no option showing here. So let's enable it in Visual Studio. So go to Visual Studio, and if you go to Visual Studio, I have already created MVC solution. So let's go to app.start startup.auth.cs. so this is a file. Here you can integrate your like authentication, third party authentication. So if you see here, there is a different type of third party login provider is there: Microsoft, Twitter, Facebook. So we are going to use Facebook authentication. So just uncomment it. Let's first stop the application, just uncomment it, go to your Facebook server, copy your app ID and password. So just copy and paste your application ID and application secret, sorry. Okay, now, and when my application will get authorized, it will come to this authorize action method, and I have redirected it to the message action controller saying that you are successfully authenticated. So we are done with the changes. Just enable the Facebook authentication with application ID and secret. So let's go and just run the application. Okay, so let's check whether our Facebook integration, that button is it is enabled or not. So just refresh it. So if you see, the button button is visible here: use another service login. So now we have authenticated, I mean we are integrated the Facebook identity provider into our web application. So let's get authenticated. So just click that Facebook button, and now it will ask you to enter your credential, or it will give you some consent form saying that uh, you continue as like Purohit. Purohit. So Purohit is like it's I have created the Facebook account with that name, so I'm giving access it like continue as a Purohit. Then it will check whether the credentials are correct or not with the Facebook authentication provider. It's checking it whether the credentials are correct or not. Okay, so if you see, it is saying that you have successfully authenticated with Facebook. Okay, just click that register button, and now, I mean, basically you have successfully authenticated to the Facebook server, and now it is saying that you are authenticated successfully. And if you go to home page button, now you are successfully logged into your web application and authenticated with the Facebook external that is identity provider, external identity provider. So you just need to create application ID and secret. So I mean, you have to register your app web application with the Facebook or whatever we are using the third party identity provider, and then you have to do configuration in the startup.auth.cs, or you can make your custom like configuration also using app id and secret. So by this way, we can, we can use any external identity provider in our web application to get authenticated. And like so we don't need to use any extra like multiple credential for multiple product. We can use single credential through for all credentials. So that's it from my side. In next video, what I will try to do, I will try to use IDaaS, identity service, like from Azure in our web application, and we'll try to consume the authentication token endpoints in our C# code. So see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.